Got it. All right, number one, what three-dimensional figure is represented by the side and top views? So, you have an answer? What'd you get? Square pyramid. It is a square pyramid. Now look, a good picture would actually have it like this, because when you look down at the top, that's kind of what you're going to see, right? You'll see the point there, and they kind of cross. Okay. And if you're looking at it from the side, now look, it only has one base, one triangular base, so that's the way you're going to know. So, square pyramid. That would be the answer. All right, number two. Front view, so you know it's going to have three. So here's what I would do. Let's eliminate the ones that don't have three at the bottom. See this? Three right here? So let's see if we can eliminate any that don't have that. C doesn't have three, right? Because that, if it were correct, it would have that one. So we can eliminate C. That's going to leave us with that. Top. So remember now, top, you'd be looking at it like that. So that one works. That one works. And this one does not, right? Have to be like this. That one doesn't. So now we're between A and B. This is how I do these. Just makes it easier. Okay? To do it, you just kind of start eliminating shapes. So now we're left with A and B, and it's got to be what? Ooh, let's look at the height. How tall is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So we can eliminate which one? B, so we're going to get A. See that? So those are the kind of things you look for. Start eliminating. Don't try to. It's easier if you do it that way. Then look for little things like the height, the width, if it's missing, from each view. And that'll help out. All right. So what's the total surface area of the square pyramid? So square pyramid, boom, right there. It tells you that. So that means that this is 5. All sides got to be 5, right? Of the base. The base right here. Okay, so that's the base. So what's our formula? You guys got your formula sheet? What's our formula say? 1/2 LP plus big B. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. 1/2 plus big B. All right. Remember now the slant height. It's not length, it's slant height. Okay. So that's L right there. And then, so we can start filling it in 1/2 times 9. How about perimeter? 5 times 4 plus 5 squared, right? Remember area of a square, 5 times 5. So we're going to get 1/2 times 9 times 20 plus 25. That would be 1/2. Let's take 1/2 of 20. 1/2 of 20 is 10 times 9 plus 25. 90 plus 25. 115. Now don't forget your measurements on the test. If it's short answer, don't forget to put the measurements, okay? There we go. That. All right. So look on your formula sheet. You see there's no triangular pyramid listed?
Yeah.
That's because they give you big B. So big B represents the area of base. Big B, so it doesn't matter what the base is. So it's the same formula as this one. All right, 1/2 LP plus big B. All right, so here we're going to use perimeter. Here's the base. this triangle right here, okay, which would be the slant height. You got two numbers up here. 8.7 is the height of the base, okay? This is the slant height. Because when you fold it up, it would make the slanted part, right? So now we've got everything, you can plug it in. I've got 1/2, what's the slant height? 12, and perimeter. Perimeter is 10 times 3 plus, now don't forget, we have big B here, which is 1/2 base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. Okay? So in your calculator, let's do, well, this one would be easy. 1/2 of 12 is 6. 10 times 3 is 30. So we're going to get 6 times 30 would be what? Is that right? 6 times 30, 180, 6 times 18. Plus this. In your calculator, 10 times 8.7, which would be 87. What's half of 87 in your calculator? I'll get it for you. 43.5. Add those two together. I think they rounded up closest, yeah. So 223.5 centimeters squared. This one actually should be squared, right? Just caught that. All right, so they rounded up. All right, let's see. Number 5. Pete wants to paint each face of the rectangular prism. So we've got the shape, and we're going to paint each face. So what is that? Surface area. We're going to need, well, I don't think you need perimeter for this one, but we're going to need surface area. So in our formula, I think it's what? 2 LW plus 2 LH plus 2 WH. Okay. So really you just got 3 numbers and you just doubled it, right? Doesn't matter which one, so you can do 2 times 5 times 18 plus 2 times 5 times 20 plus 2 times 18 times 20. Doesn't really matter which one you label, length, width, and height, just as long as you use the 3 numbers. So in your calculator, please, you got 2 times, what's 5 times 18? 50 and 40, 90? Plus 5 times 20 is 200. What's and then 2 times 360? Okay, so I got 180 plus 500 plus 720. So what's that give us? All right, let's see what we did wrong. Let's check our math. So 2 times, so we got 2 times length times width, so 5 times 18. Let's make sure we've done them both. 5 times 20 and 18 times 20. So what's in your calculator? 5 times 18. 90. Then 5 times 20.
100.
Then, oh, here's where we went wrong right here. Should be what? 2. This should be what? 200. Now we got it. What do you get? Always check your work. That's why we check our work. B. So I took this accidentally from there, but it should have been that. So 200. There we go. Okay. The water in a community pool needs to be drained. The diagram below represents the water in the pool. The water drains at a rate of 0.05 cubic. This should give you a clue. Cubic. Volume. Cubic and volume. Right? Alright. Let's see. Jorge is wrapping a present for his friend with no overlap. How many square inches of wrapping paper? What do you think it's going to be? Volume? You put something in it or covering it?
Surface area.
Surface area, right? Square inches. Surface area. Right, so here's our base. Now, what kind of shape is it?
Triangular.
A triangular prism. Okay? So here's our base. Triangle, since it's a triangular prism, right? What is it? HP big B?
HP plus 2 big B.
2B, all right. HP plus 2 big B, right? All right. Remember, the height is of the prism. So this is the height here, right? The height from the formula, this one. That's that height right there. So we're going to plug in 4, and we're going to multiply it by the perimeter. The perimeter is the perimeter of the base. So it's 8 plus 10 plus 6. Okay? And then big B is this, right? Area of the triangle. So it's going to be plus 2 times 1/2 base. That's the base. 6 and the height, because it's a right triangle. Okay? And because it's a right triangle, see that right triangle? That's the height. This is the height. Okay? And that's the base. So it's 1/2 times 6 times 8. Right? Got it? Now we just down to 4 times 24 plus 2 times half of 6 is 3. 3 times 8, 24. 4 times 24 is 96. Plus what? What's that give us? Inches squared. So on your test, you will definitely have some non-multiple choice, okay? Number 8, the original triangular prism shown below has the following dimensions. Right here, okay? So this is the original. So it says if a new triangle was created by tripling the height from 6 to 18, what happens? So how many times bigger is that?
3.
3 times bigger. How many dimensions? 1. So remember we talked about the exponent being the number of dimensions. So how many times bigger is it going to be? 3. Let's go. Remember now, the volume of this is exactly 1/3 of the original. 3 times. Remember, it doesn't apply to what? Surface area, right? So what's it have to be? The volume of the unit is 3 times that of 3 times bigger, right? Did I get that? Because it went from 6 to 18. If it went the other way, then it would be 3 times smaller, or 1/3 of it. Okay. All right, let's look at 9. What's the closest amount of oil it takes to fill the storage tank? So we have a what there? What is that? Kind of shape? Cylinder. What's a key word?
Circle.
Circle. But what's the key word do we know?
Fill.
Fill, which means what formula? Volume. All right, volume equals, what is it, pi r squared h?
Yeah.
Pi r squared h. Okay? Now remember, if the line goes all the way across, that's the diameter. We only want half of that. So what is it? Radius, I mean? 70, right? So we get, and this is the height, h. R equals 70, height there. So we're going to plug it in, pi 70 squared times 60. So in your calculator, 70 squared, which should be what, 4,900? Times 60?
2,000. Wait, what? 24,000. 294,000. That's what I got.
200
94,000.
times 3.14?
Oh, ignore that. It's 29,400.
Okay, we'll ignore that. Pretend that never happened. And we got 29,400. Right?
92,316. I don't know where I'm getting that.
Okay, anybody else want to chime in with their calculator? All right, everybody in your calculator right now. 4900
That's 900.
times 60 equals.
200.
You had it right the first time.
I thought it was, I was doing something wrong. I typed in 490.
Now multiply that by 3.14.
126,600. I was off by 1 0.
Yeah. Now, they probably use the pi button on there when they fill out the answer key. So when you're using pi, remember, you could try it both ways, but it's going to be whatever. There might be a little rounding, a couple numbers off. All right, 10. Volume, they tell us. Okay. It's a cone, so I think, what is it, 1/3?
Yep.
Pi r squared h? Because it's 1/3 of a cylinder, right? Same as a cylinder, just take 1/3 of that. Remember now, radius is going to be 6. 14 is the height. So we're just going to plug it in. We get 1/3 pi 6 squared times 14. A little bit. Be 36 times 14. What's 36 times 14?
546.
546?
I'm getting the wrong answer. I don't know what's happening. My calculator's broken.
546? What'd you get in your calculator?
504.
What'd you get?
546.
Brianna, what'd you get? For 36 times 14.
It's 504.
504.
Oh, you're right this time.
So, okay, so my calculator's not broken.
Definitely not broken.
Oh my goodness, is this chair gonna break if I lean back on it?
All right, so now here's what I would do. I would multiply 504 times pi, or 3.14, and then divide that by 3.
Divide. I figured if I divided by 3 before and then do 5.
Or either one.
Okay, 527.12.
There we go. Okay. Got it? All right, number 11. what is the volume of a pyramid? So they tell us it's volume of a pyramid with a base area of 81 centimeters and a height of 60. So, what is the formula for the pyramid? Volume.
1/3 base per side, the big B per side.
So really, they've given most of it for you, right? Because they've already done big B. And then the height is 60. So in your calculator, please take 81 times 60.
Larger 4,806.
Then divide that by 3.
1,620.
Good. So 1620. Okay. Questions? All right, 13. The box below is made of cardboard and is filled with popcorn. Filled. Filled. What's that mean we're going to use? Volume? Good. That's a volume question. Okay. If a new box is created by doubling the height, remember just one we're doing just one dimension, one attribute. We're doubling it, so it's going to be what? The new box will hold exactly the same. No. The new box will require the same amount of cardboard. No. The new box requires twice as much cardboard. That would be surface area. So remember, it's twice. We're doubling the what? Height, so it'll hold twice as much. Get that? Twice as much. Okay.
What is quite require exactly twice as much cardboard piece surface area?
Yes, which is not.
Oh, we're talking about volume.
It's a volume, yeah. Right, because it says fill with popcorn. All right, question 12. Curious. So use the formula. You just count them. Anybody use the formula? Who counted it? Raise your hand. Okay. So you got what?
16.
So let's see. I'm going to use the formula. You got 16 by counting. So you did what? You got 1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then there's 8 on the other side. All right, I'm going to use the formula. So what formula would I use? Triangular prism, right? Which would be what? Volume, big B, times H. Okay? So let's look at this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the length of that is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Length of that is 4. Right? So big B, since the shape of the base is a triangle, right? We can do 1/2 base times base times height times the height. What's the height of this prism? 2. Right? So 16 is what? 4 times 4 is 16. Half of that is what? Alright, good. Everybody works out to be the same, right?
Yeah.
Luckily, because these half triangles, when you put them together, make 1. Right? So good. 8 on the front, 8 on the back. Alright. Alright, 14. Raymond needs to cover the entire surface of the square base pyramid with paper. So that tells you it's what kind of problems? Cover
Surface area.
surface area, right? Cover the surface. So that's surface area of a pyramid, which gives us what? LP plus what? Big B? You notice the difference? Look at the difference between the pyramid and the prism on your formula sheet, the bottom left there. See how surface area on the prism has two big P, because why? Why is that?
Bases.
Two bases, exactly. This one only has one, okay? All right. So we know it's square. So here's the base, 12, 12, 12, and 12, okay? Now what about L? L is that? So 11 equals L. So I think we have everything we need, yes? So we're going to have, so big B would be 12 squared, which would be what? 144. So we have big B, we have L, we have big B right here. We have L right there. So what else is P? Perimeter. So P is going to be 12 times what? 4, right? Because it's a square. So what's that? 8. So we have P. Right? So let's see. We got big P, P, L. All right. We can plug it in. So let's go down here and plug it in. So we're going to get 1/2 times what? 11 times perimeter plus. All right, any calculator, 48 times 11, please. 5 what? 28? All right. Half of that?
260.
And add that together?
408.
408. Okay. Good. Questions? All right, 16. Josh has 2 rectangular prisms. The length of the second prism is 10 times the length of the first. The height and width of the 2 prisms are the same. So how many attributes are we changing? The height and the width are the same. So it's just the length is 10 times greater. So we only change one attribute, so we're only going to multiply it by 10, right? So the volume is 1,000 times, no. 100 times, no. This would be if we changed all attributes. If we changed all attributes, it would be 10 to the third, right? We talked about that. This one, if we change 2 attributes, so it would be 10 squared. 30 is nowhere to be seen, so it's got to be this because we only changed the length. So it's 10 times bigger. 15. All right, the radius of the base of a cone is 6. The height of the cone is 6. What's close to the volume? You can draw a picture if you like. Okay. And then the radius is 6. And the height is what? 6. What's the formula for the cone? What are we doing? Volume.
1/3 pi r squared each.
1/3 pi r squared h. So we get 1/3 pi 6 squared times 6. So we can actually do 6 cubed, right? 6 times 6 times 6. Or 6 squared times 6. 36 times 6. What'd you get?
260.
216. So you can divide by 3. Let's do that. 216 divided by 3. 72 pi. And then multiply that by
226.1.
okay. Which equals approximately 226 what?
08.
Good. All right, 17. Three-dimensional figures constructed using identical cubes. Three views of this figure are front, top, and right side. Right, so the front view is going to be 3 up and 3 across, okay, which would make a square. So let's look at this one. 3 up, right? 3 up, 3 up, and 3 across. So that one could work. 3, 3, right? So that one could work. So they all could work from the front view, right? Because they're all 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So from the front view, if you were looking at it from the front, they could all work, yes? All right, let's go to the top view. So looking down on it, not quite the square. So if we're looking down, remember we're looking down on it like this. It would be 1, 2, 3. You would see that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that one could work. This next one would be 1, 2, 3 from the top. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So that could work, right? How about 1, 2, 3, 1, 2? So we know we can eliminate that one, because that wouldn't work from the top. And let's look down on this one. It would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. That one wouldn't work, right? The top. So we've eliminated that. This is how I go about doing that. If you're not sure, take each view and try to eliminate. So now we're left with 2. So now the right side is 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, almost like steps, right? Up like that. This one only goes like an L. So we gotta eliminate that one. And it looks like A, sorry. Yeah? Agree? Okay. All right. Elma and David built a recycling bin with a volume of 576 cubic feet. The bin is rectangular with a base of 12 feet long. What is the height? Now I like this one because now we got to work backwards. We got to set up an actual equation. So what's the volume? Right. Let's see. Volume equals what? Length times width times height, right? So we plug in what you have. We have the total volume. Do we have? We don't have the what? Height, right? We're looking for h. So let's plug this in. 12 times 6 times h. What's 12 times 6? 72h. Now what are we going to do? Divide by 72. So in your calculators, please. 576 divided by 72 is 8. That will be on there. Working backwards. Okay? So all these formulas are actually equations, but we're just trying to find the answer. Sometimes they give you the answer and they want you to find one of the missing attributes. So you just have to do it that way. All right. Good. Any questions?